solitary hiker called the Man sets out on a sojourn with only a wolf dog as a companion to a base camp which is far. The story takes place in Klondike region of the Yukon Territory in Canada, where temperature falls to 75 Fahrenheit below zero. He leaves early in the morning and expects to reach camp to meet the boys by 6:30 in the evening. Despite warnings from an old-timer from Sulphur Creek about the weather, he leaves for the camp. The dogs follow him, even though all its instincts tell it to do otherwise. He builds a fire when he stops for lunch, and the dog too enjoys the warmth. A little while after resuming his walk, a man accidentally falls into a concealed spring. He gets soaked up to his shins. His hands and feet go numb, and he is reminded of the words of the old-timer from Sulphur Creek. He removes his mittens and unties his moccasins, albeit with great difficulty. He gathers wood to build the fire around pine trees. He takes twigs directly from the tree and ends up shaking the tree, causing the snow on the boat to fall down and extinguish his nearly steady fire. He tries again, but the matchstick falls from his hands, and 70 matchsticks fall into the snow. His hands and feet are so numb that he gathers the twigs and matches using the heels of his hands. He lights all 70 at once and tries to light the fire but ends up extinguishing it. A crazy idea crosses his mind. He is reminded of a story of a man who killed a bull and crawled inside the carcass for warmth. He decided to kill the dog in the hope that he can warm his hands. "Come here, boy. Come to me. I said come here." He starts to panic and decides to run to the base camp. He doesn't have the endurance, so he stumbles several times and falls twice. After the second fall, he realizes the inevitability of death. He stops fighting and decides to face death with dignity. In his last moments, he remembers the words of the wise old-timer. "Yes, you're right, old horse. You were right." He imagines that the boys will come looking and take his dead body away. He falls into a slumber and sleeps into his death. All this while, a dog looks at him quizzically. It has never seen anyone dreaming so still such weather. It waits for a while, hoping for a fire. When it realizes that the man has been still for too long, it approaches him and figures out that he is dead. It immediately runs back to a base camp details where there are other food providers and fire providers.